Okay, today we're going to learn how to find the area of trapezoids and other polygons. Okay, the formula for the area of a trapezoid is 1/2 times height times base 1 plus base 2. Or another way of doing it is, remember, anytime that you multiply by 1/2, it's the same thing as dividing by 2. So you could rewrite this same exact formula as height times base 1 plus base 2 and divide the whole thing by 2. All right, and you need to know which one is the height, base 1 and base 2. So base 1 would be this one, base 2 would be this, and the height would be from the top straight down, and it normally has a right angle, and this would be your height here. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite this as height times base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2, because that's just easier to me. And you can't see the 12, but the 12 is supposed to be up here. For some reason, it's not showing up. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug these in. Think back to when we did evaluating expressions, and we gave you numbers to plug in where the letters were, where the variables were. So we're going to plug these numbers in where the variables are. So on the first one, since this is base 1 up here is base 1, we're going to plug that in right here. And base 2 is down here, so we're going to plug that in there. And then this is your height, so you're going to plug it in right there. So when I rewrite this, I'm going to say 9 times 12 plus 16 divided by 2. All right, and then order of operations, we always do exponents. We don't have any of those. Parentheses, so we're going to say 12 plus 16. 12 plus 16 is going to give me 28. And then 28 times 9 divided by 2. All right, so I know that 28 times 9, if I actually work it out, 9 times 8, 72. 9 times 2 is 18. 18 plus 7 is 25. All right, so that means I have 252 divided by 2. And so that's basically what is half of 252. And half of 252 is 126 miles squared. And that's going to be my final answer. Okay, the next trapezoid, again, I'm going to go ahead and rewrite. So it's height times base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2. And my height is going to be 4 times 3.4 plus 5.8. And I'm going to divide all that by 2. So the first thing I'm going to do is adding the decimals. And remember, anytime you add decimals, you have to line them up. 8 plus 4 is going to give me 12. 5 plus 3 gives me 8, plus 1 gives me 9. And I'm going to bring my decimal straight down. So that's going to end up giving me 4 times 9.2 divided by 2. All right, and then if I did 4 times 9.2, 8, 4 times 9 is going to give me 36. And I have one number behind the decimal, so it's going to be 36 8/10 divided by 2. All right, 2 goes into 36 how many times? And if you actually have to work it out, you could say 2 goes into 36.8 times. 2 goes into 3 once. 2 goes into 16 8 times, which gives you 16. Bring down your 8, and I'm kind of running out of room. Bring up your decimal straight up. 2 goes into 8 4 times. 4 times 2 is 8, so I'm left with nothing. So the area of this trapezoid is 18 4/10 centimeters squared. Okay, for some reason my shape is not showing up, so I had to redraw it in. And so this is just a different kind of polygon. We know that if you're looking at this shape, this makes up what looks like to be kind of an L, and the L makes up 2 rectangles. So I really could cut the rectangle right here, and we would have rectangle number 1 and rectangle number 2, and we all know how to find the area of a rectangle. Remember, anytime you're finding the area of a rectangle, it is area equals length times width or base times height. Sometimes you hear it base times height. It's the same thing. So if I look at this first rectangle, and I always like to redraw my rectangle with a different color. And so if I go across this top line, I know that my length is going to be 4, and I'm going to multiply it by my width or height. And I don't have anything over here, but I have something on this side. And from this point here to this point, this is 5. So from this point to this point, I've got to figure out what that is. And if I notice that this from here to here is 5, and from here to here, if I look over here, I know that it is 3, so I add 5 plus 3 right here, which is going to give me 8. So that section there is a 4 by 8. And I know that 4 times 8 is going to give me 32. So the area of this one is 32 centimeters. Now I have to find the area of this other rectangle, excuse me. And so again, I'm going to draw my line straight across, and I know from this point to this point is 8 centimeters. And I'm going to multiply it by 8 times right here. And I've got this whole line, which is 3, and 8 times 3 is 24. So this rectangle is 24 centimeters squared. And so the rectangle, the whole shape, I would just add these two together, which gives me 56. So 56 centimeters squared. Okay, on this polygon, it's very similar to the last one. It is an L shape again, and so you have 2 different rectangles going on. You could do one of 2 things. You could cut it here, or you could cut it here. And it doesn't really matter. You could do either or, whichever one you want to do. All right, like I said, I always redraw mine, so I know that this first shape is a 3, and I'm going straight across here, so that entire section there is 3, and I'm going to go straight down this line, and this entire line is a 12. So 3 times 12 is going to give me 36 centimeters squared. And then my second, so this right here, I can go ahead and write 36 in. And then my side over here, I'm going to draw straight across here, which is a 4. And I go straight down, which is a 5. And so 4 times 5 gives me 20. So when I add the 2 together, I get 56 centimeters squared. Now let's say that if I go back and I am going to cut it the other way. I just want to show you the other way of doing this. So let's just say if I had cut this way and ignore this little line right here. So then I would have had a 3 because I went straight across there, and I'm going to go straight down this line because from this point here to this point here, that's 7 centimeters because look, this line is only talking about from here to here. Okay, so this would be a 3 by 7, which gives me 21. And then if I did this rectangle down here, all right, I don't know what this is. I know what this side is, which is 5. I know from this point here to this point here is 4 centimeters. But from this point here to this point is 3. So if I said 4 plus 3, that gives me 7. So 5 times 7 is going to give me, that's going to give me 35. So when I add them together, I'm going to end up getting 56. And it's the same thing, 56 centimeters squared. So does it matter the way you cut it? No, it's whatever preference you have.